YouTube, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Mastering Mind Studio. Look, we're going to be taking a bit of a deeper dive into Mind Studio with these next two videos, all right? So we're going into this under the assumption that you already know the basics of Mind Studio prompting and automations. But if you don't, check out the first two videos in this series, then come back here. In this video, we're going to be creating a content idea generator to market services via social media. In this particular example, I'm going to be using graphic design. Big surprise, right? But you can do the same thing for your particular industry. So an AI like this will be crazy useful if, for example, you have a specific service you want to promote, a project you want to showcase, or if you run a marketing agency, you'll just need to answer a few questions and you'll get a detailed content strategy that's tailored to you or your client's goals. So I created one, it works beautifully. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So first we'll be setting up our prompt. We'll set up a data source to reference. Third, we'll set up some global variables. We'll set up our runtime variables, and then we'll set up our automations. And after that, we'll just set up our branding and publish that joint. All right, let's go. All right, head on over to youai.ai, click on my AIs, but first, check out this new video that they have on here. This is really dope. I just sat here and watched it a few times. So shout out to the Mind Studio team. I love this little quick explainer video. Anyway, head over to my AIs. So you can see I created this and tested it. Works great, but go ahead and click new AI. So you should be familiar with this screen by now. So as you know, you can start from a template. Tons of templates here. You can browse all, but we'll go ahead and click generate prompt. So I'll go ahead and describe the behavior of the AI. I'll say assistant is a graphic design marketing expert that shares content ideas from the data source for freelance graphic designers to help them market their services to their ideal client via social media. It's probably a run-on sentence, but AI doesn't care. I'll say assistant uses text from the data source to aid in responses. Boom. Generate. Let's see what it gives us. So as you can see, it generates a beautiful prompt for us here. So as I'm reading through, I'm going to change this up a bit because I don't want the content to only come from the data source. So I'll adjust these a bit. Assistant uses text and data from the specified data source. Queries. Information. I'll tweak the tone and style a bit. So this looks good so far. I'll come back and tweak this as needed as we continue to build out the AI. So the next thing we'll do is add a data source. So I'll come up here to data sources and click this plus button here. So I'm going to name this content ideas. So I have this TXT file prepared here, and I just went through each major platform that I've used to market my business and I found success with, and I added those here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload these, but I want the AI to use this as like a starting point. So as you can see, we can upload a bunch of different file types here. I'll hit upload files, add the data source. As you can see, it's creating the embeddings, finalizing, and we're good. We have it here. So if I click this button, you see a preview of the content. You can see the extracted text here, raw chunks, and then the raw vectors. Then we have a query tester right here. So as you can see, under data sources, we now have content ideas. We have it here. So this is RAG. So what it does is references an outside data source before generating a response. So this is where you'll go to upload any external knowledge that you want the AI to have, and you'll explicitly reference those data sources in the automations. And I'll show you guys that in a few. All right, now we'll go up to where it says Untitled AI. Let's go ahead and name this graphic designer content idea generator. So I'll go ahead and add a short description. So we'll save the styling and branding to the end, but right now I want to go to global settings. So this is where we'll add the global variables. As you can see here, it says choose user inputs to present the first time a user interacts with the AI. These inputs set variables globally and make them available in all threads. So this will be helpful to get a bit of background information on your business and services, so you don't have to put that in every time you want to use this content idea generator. So I'll go ahead and add a few variables here. So I'll click this plus button, then hit create new. So I want to collect the company name. So under type, I'll select short text, and then I'll put in company as the variable. What is the name of your company? So on the left hand side under user inputs, boom, you'll see companies here. So I'll add another, boom. So under type, I'll leave it as long text, and I'll name this variable about. Tell me a little about your company. So let's create another. Leave it as long text. Now do audience. So I want to know a little bit about their audience. Ideal client. This one's done. And I'll just add one more under global variables. And this will be services. What products and services do you offer? So this should give us enough background information about this company. All right, now we'll head back over into main flow. Then head over to automations. So this is where we're going to set up the sexy automations. I'm laughing, but it's true. So we have our start block here. So this is where the global variables happen. This is where those questions are answered. But now we need to add some input questions. So I'll click this plus button here and then click user input, collect answer or data from the user. So if I click this plus button, you'll see the inputs we created so far, but we don't want to use those here. So I'll click create new. And we could have created these in advance, but I wanted to show you how to do it this way. Okay. So for the first variable, we're going to go ahead and name this project. Is there a particular project you'd like to showcase? I add another. So as you can see, this is the same way I was doing it before. I'll change this one to text choice. I'll name this variable platform. I want to know what platforms do you want to market on or post on. Let's do post. Okay. I'll go down to options. I'll put Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and website. And under max selections, I want them to be able to pick multiple options. So I'll click any amount. All right, so under user inputs, I'll create another text choice. We'll name this content type. What type of content do you prefer to post? Video, photo, and written. I'll click any amount. And let's go ahead and add another user input and name it considerations. I'll leave this as long text. Is there anything else take into consideration? Include any other platforms you'd like to market your services on. Only because I know my list, it doesn't cover every single platform, just the ones that I've used. So if they want advice on how to market on other platforms, the AI can do its AI thing and still give them some help. All right, so now we'll head back into main.flow. We have user input. As you can see, we only have one so far, but I'll go ahead and add the other ones we just created. So I'll do platform, content type, and considerations and add those here. So if we preview it so far, let's see what it looks like. MindStudio. So we need to go back. I'm going to go up here. Then under global settings, I need to add the other questions to these settings. Okay. About, audience, services. Boom. So now let's preview it. Boom. As you can see over here, it says about, audience, and services are undefined. So if I click new, it'll ask us the first question in the collect user input block. But we need to go back and add these global variables, right? So you have to click these three dots and then do edit onboarding, and it'll take you back here. So as you can see now, I have 4 questions. So I won't go through all these right now. I just wanted to give you a quick preview of what this looks like so far. So we need to come back to the automations, but I actually add another user input because we need to query the data source. So I'm going to add another one. I'm going to change the type to short text, and then I'll leave the variable for now. Then I want to ask, what service do you want to market? So this is going to be what we ask the document. So we're going to use this question as the query. So I'll change the variable to query. Okay. So now I'll head back into the automations. So now I'm going to create a send message block. Okay. So I'll click this plus button here and then click send message, interact with the AI on behalf of a user. So I want to use the query along with the following data to find related information. Let's do relevant information in the data source. Now add my other variables here. Content type, double curly braces, platform, project, considerations. Down here, I don't want the message to display to the user. I want to assign it to a variable. Okay. So I'm going to name this variable refined query. So down here, you'll see the model settings. So as you know by now, we can have a specific model for the entire AI. So right now we're using GPT 3.5 as the underlying model since it's fast and responsive, but I want one that's a bit better at reasoning. So I want to use GPT-4 Turbo. So this is a premium model, so you'll want to make sure you're on a paid plan if you want to use this one. So you can set the temperature, which controls the uniqueness or the randomness of the answers each time the AI is used. As you can see, a temperature closer to 0 will return pretty much the same responses every time. And the higher you go up, the more unique the answers will be. So as you can see, if I go too high, it'll say unstable. So I like to keep it around 1. For the max response size, I'll do about, let's do 1500. So if I go back to automations, I can select the specific model for this automation. So if I had the underlying model as GPT 3.5 Turbo, I can come here and do GPT-4 Turbo for this send message block. I'll just keep everything the same, temperature 1, and I'll just keep the max response tokens at 4,000. It's not going to get that high. All right, y'all. So we have the global variables set up here, the user inputs, and now the send message block. So this is the glue that we need to make everything work right. We're going to click plus and then go down to query data. So it already has our data source here, but if I had multiple ones, you can select it from this list. So if I go back to send message, this is what's going to be creating this refined query right here. So for the variable, I'll name this query result. And the query template, I'll delete this out and I'll put in refined query. So now we'll create another send message block. Okay. Send message. And I'll say use the following info as context for your response. Query result and side sources. Begin with the overall goal of the human. Then answer the following question. What are some content ideas based on query? I want this to display to the user. So I'll go down, change the model setting, temperature 1. In the main MindStudio dashboard, you'll see information on the models. So you can click it and learn more information about it. You can also see the templates, functions, generators, data sources. There's also documentation here as well, and a link to the YouTube tutorials. And make sure you join the Discord if you haven't already to get your technical questions answered. But let me jump back into the AI. So we have this send message block that we just created, which is displayed to the user, and this one, which is sent to the AI with some instructions on how to query the data source. So we're saying, hey, take this information into consideration to refine this query, search the content ideas, give us 3 maximum results, then use that result to give us an answer. And then ending in the chat is fine. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see everything. So if you shift click, hold all of these, then you can distribute them. Boom. All right, y'all, so we're almost done with this. I just want to go back and add some more context to the main prompt. So under the constraints, I want to add that assistant should categorize answers based on platform. So now we can use those variables that we created here in the prompt. Assistant should only display answers for the specific platform provided. And just as a reminder, the assistant should include relevant answers that may not be included in the data source. Assistance responses should be relevant to the project provided. Finally, assistance answers should be from a graphic designer's perspective, who is looking to market their graphic design services. Now add one more under response formatting. All right, let's check for errors. We're good here. So let's go ahead and test this out and see if it works. So I'll do preview draft, open, and we're going to go ahead and edit the onboarding. So I already put this in. A little bit about your company. So I've prepared this in advance. Describe your ideal client. So I prepared this as well. So this is a sample of my particular target market. So of course you can go as simple or as detailed as you want, but I want the AI to have as much context as possible on who I'm looking to market to. Next, what products and services do you offer? Only a couple. Boom. Hit next. So those questions that I just answered, those 4 questions are the global variables. So as you can see on the right hand side under the draft debugger, we can see what I put in. Okay. So if you're using this or your clients are using this, they'll only have to put that information in once. And every time they want to generate a new content idea, they'll land here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and paste some sample information here. So this is a sample booking website project for a speaker. And so I just have some details here. Next, platforms do you want to post on? Let's do Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Next, video and written. Anything else I'd like to take into consideration? Let's do I like to get some tips on how I can showcase the project on my website. Okay. Next, service do you want to market? Let's do booking website. Boom, that's the query. So let's see what happens. Boom, here's our output. So as you can see, it gave us a lot of relevant tips broken down by platform. And everything is specific to that particular project. Oh, this is really good. So a couple things I noticed, it didn't give me like a overview paragraph at the beginning of it, and it didn't give me website specific content strategies either. But overall, I think it's really good. So I can continue to refine and tweak this. So what I'll do is head back over into MindStudio, click on a prompt here, and then assistant should always start its response with the goal of the human. So let's test it out again. Next, let's do Facebook, Instagram, and website. Let's do written and photo. This time, in here, I'll just do none. Booking website. Now this is freaking beautiful. I said freaking. Oh, there we go, y'all. We have the goal here. Look at that. Look at that. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right, y'all, let's get this thing ready to publish. So head back into MindStudio, click the title, go down to icons and media. So I'll add my app icon. Boom. Add my social sharing image. Boom. For the preview gallery, I'll add the same image. So for landing page, I'll go ahead and add a little bit of content. Boom. Now we need to update the style and branding. So I'll hit custom styles. Font, we know we want to change the font. So let me do Railway. Yeah, like that. I just want to change the color scheme. So go to coolers.co. Start the generator. I'm going to create a palette from a photo like I did last time. Upload the image. And it gives us a nice color palette. Just going to tweak it a bit. Click this and I'll go really light with the yellow. Next. Open in the generator. Boom. Come back here. So for the background color, we're going to go with the light gray. Let me just see what this teal looks like. I know it's probably going to look crazy. It's not terrible. Because if we change the text color to white, not terrible. And the button color, let's make this yellow. All right, let's actually make this. Boom. I'm just playing around with it at this point. That's the beauty of it. You can experiment and see what looks best. I'm not feeling that. Go back. Make this a lot lighter. Hopefully they come out with the ability to change the font color of the button soon. So now I can see what it looks like in search and social sharing. So let's publish this. Beautiful, beautiful. Open. Get it onboarding. Oh yeah. Let me see something. Can you give me a few more Facebook tips? I was going to say this is good information, but I noticed it wasn't tailored specifically to the Sherry Jones website project. So there may have to be some tweaking that I have to do in MindStudio after the chat, but it does say, would you like to explore how these can be tailored specifically for your most successful booking website projects? So I could probably continue to refine the responses based on a specific project here if I wanted to showcase a project. So this is really dope, y'all. This is really dope. And there you have it, guys. So if you want to test this AI out for yourself, I've dropped a link to it in the description. If this video was helpful, let me know. And I really want to encourage you guys to join the Discord, which is linked in the description as well. But head on over there to ask any technical questions. The team is really responsive and everybody there is extremely helpful. So in our next video, we're diving a bit deeper into MindStudio. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.